Welcome to Beyond the Velvet Rope with Neal Oates Jr, the podcast that takes you on an extraordinary journey into the world of luxury service. Join us as we unlock the secrets, stories, and strategies behind exceptional experiences. From anticipating VIP needs to crafting unforgettable memories, we'll guide you on a path to service excellence in the realm of the affluent. Let's elevate your expertise and redefine the art of world-renowned service. Here's your host, Neal Oates Jr.
Welcome to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm joined by someone who brings a powerful blend of business leadership, international expertise, and heart-centered service to the real estate world. Morgan Styner is the broker owner of Moonstone Realty in Cape Coral, Florida, an international real estate specialist, mentor, wife, and mother who has built a reputation on trust, strategic guidance, and helping clients navigate life transitions with clarity and confidence. She leads with both vision and authenticity, and today we get to step behind the scenes of her journey, her mindset, and the lessons she's learned building a boutique brokerage in one of the most dynamic markets in the country. Morgan, welcome Beyond the Velvet Rope. How are you today?
Good morning, Mia. Thank you for having me here. It's just started a good day already, and I'm so excited what we will have in this time together. Thank you for having me.
And now, before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, my friend Morgan is here with us on a very special day. So the date of recording today is a milestone moment, and I am honored because I did not know this when we booked this time together. Tell the people what today is, Morgan.
So today, as I got the invitation actually from you, it was like, there was due to the time, what time would be for you good, for me good. So, and I saw one of them that was October 24th, and I said, oh my God, he has some vision. I know how you are, but your vision just goes beyond. And I said, listen, that's the time. That's the turning point, because today, October 24th, I turned 60. So this is something. Yes.
This
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
Morgan's 60th birthday, so thank you
And you are
for
a part of
giving
it.
me, and I get to be a part of the 60th birthday.
Yes.
So let's start there. 60 years old today, right? And you don't shy away from that, and we're going to get to a lot of stuff here. In 60 years, what has Morgan learned about herself?
Oh my God. To be honest with you, when I do have my still moments with myself, I realize that I still do not really know my own personality, to be honest with you. Sometimes I'm so proud of myself, and we say in German, just knock my shoulder and say, hey, you are strong. Because this is one thing, when you are strong, when you rely on your abilities, it gives you this passion for the growth, for working towards who you want to be, you know. So, and that is, in these 6 years, every moment was a learning moment for me. So it was not like, and it continues. If I have the privilege to how do you say, live longer, then I still believe every moment gives me so much power to be also there, not only for my family, but also for the people who are just around me. And this is something, because I'm not sure if I told you or not, I'm a cancer survivor as well. So today that I'm here, after I got it in my early 40s, I was only 40 years old. So it's now, you can see it's 20 years after that, and I'm still here looking into your eyes, one of my best mentors ever. And I'm thinking myself, oh my God, it's just, the God had something special for me. And that, in the moment, the turning moment, as I got my cancer, it already, my whole life has been changed, to be honest. I got a different person. I got more stronger. And then every year after that, I appreciated every moment of my life. So, and today is 20 years later, and I'm here and I appreciate every moment also with you.
Okay, so Morgan, you mentioned a lot right there. And so, ladies and gentlemen, and we're here with Morgan Styner. And I don't know if you all can tell by the name and the accent, she is not from South Florida. So I have a lot of questions. Morgan, we had some pre-briefing and we had some questions. We might not get to any of that stuff because now this is where brother and sister get to have some conversation, and we're just going to let everyone else listen in. So I do want to know, where were you born, raised? What's your culture? And what how has that impacted the lady, the friend that I'm looking at right now?
So, I was born back in 1965. So, in Iran or Persia, whatever you name it. So there are different names, but we are mostly known for Iran. So, and after the revolution, or my family decided that they send me to Germany. So, but before that, I was already in international Catholic school in Iran at that time. So I was not really far from the Western culture. So it was already with me from actually day one somehow. And my
Mhm.
family, my dad was a police officer at that time. And then he was also started at back in 70s in Washington, D.C. So my roots, my background was not, even though I'm a Middle East person originally, but I was from the beginning right into the different culture. Thank God. Thank God, God of my dad's occupation. And anyways, so after that, as I went to Germany, it was also for me, I don't know, somehow I love languages, I love different cultures, and that's why I'm today doing what I'm doing. And it was like within 2 months or something, I was middle in the whole world around me. So I was not like I'm a stranger. I feel never a stranger because I try to be in the middle of everything. I try to connect with everything. So for my background, yes, I speak Persian, German, and English fluently, and then also some other stuff. But so my blood is so mixed, you cannot believe. I do have Russian blood, I do have so many. But today, I'm a proud German American, and I'm a person who love other people to work with them.
Okay, and that's something that I know about you. That's how why and how we are kindred spirits, that servant heart that you have. And so this is going to be something that I know our audience, as we sit here and have conversation, Neal Oates Jr., Morgan Steiner, they're going to say, well, Morgan had an advantage, right? She grew up in this culture. She immediately got exposed to a number of different cultures, different languages, different people, different experiences. What do you say to that person who maybe doesn't have the same upbringing, who didn't have that same experience, but they want to step out? They want to be in the middle. They want to be a connector and they want to serve, right? So, what would you say to that man or woman today that's listening to us have this conversation and say, well, I want to be great, and I keep hearing that to be great, you must serve. Where do I start? What do you say to them?
This is really a great question, to be honest with you, because at the beginning of my own career, I started also to asking myself stuff like that. What should I do to get into this world? But my advice would be, and I can once again go back to myself, is I started knowing my own abilities, to own to learn about my personality, and then due to that, I could find what would be more suitable to me. Because if you do not know yourself, you cannot just
Hold
get
on, stop, Morgan, stop, stop. Now you're about to start preaching. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to lean in and listen close. If you're watching us, I want you all to make eye contact with Morgan as she says this. Go ahead and finish that thought because I think this is so important to the audience and to you and I, especially in 2025. If we aren't careful, we can look outside and we can look at social media and we can look everywhere else but on the inside. So go ahead and repeat that and finish that thought for us, please, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. I mean, as I said, you have to first try to know more about yourself, on yourself. And then because if you do not know your strengths, your weaknesses, what your passions, you cannot find a niche for yourself. You're just going around and just like a mosquito, just like, okay, it's a lot to catch, but you are not the catcher. You have to be the spider. That's what I think. Back in the days, I was an educator. The people told me, how you can speak several languages? And I said, listen, I'm a spider. So my brain is just like a vet. So I get my own baits. And my baits, I know what I love to get. So when I don't like something, I just throw it out. So not really throw it out, but for that moment when I don't need it, I don't need it. So, but with that, I try to first, like I would, it's my advice, first know your own person. And then you can build up on that and then see what helps you and also others around you to be a person who everyone wants to be around you as well. So
I absolutely love that, Morgan. Now, I do want to, in my intro of you, I mentioned international real estate specialist, mentor, wife, mother. I want to pause on one of those words here on your birthday is mentor. So I know that you are a mentor, that you believe in guiding, teaching, helping others. Why is being a mentor so important to you and what you're building, not in business, but in life? Why is that mentor piece so pivotal to who Morgan Styner is?
so I know you know about the mentor, where the word comes from, but for the people who doesn't know, actually the origin of the word mentor, it's actually a Greek word. So when you go, I'm not sure, probably some people knows about the Homer's Odyssey is as the Odyssey wanted to go to the war, to the Trojan War. He gave his son Telemachus. I'm saying in German though. I'm not sure how is it in English. So he gave it to one of his best friend named Mentor. So in Greek, obviously whatever. And he was the teacher who was a wise man, who was a caring man. And even the Athena, the goddess, whatsoever, he tried also to train his son. But at the end of the day, he trusted his son while leaving for the war to this person mentor. And then after that, just this word comes to French or English or whatsoever, and everyone now is talking about be a mentor, but it's nothing than a caring, wise person. And some people like you, Neil, you are a natural mentor. You do not need to do so much about it. Some people, they do have this passion. It burns with you. And that's what I'm saying. If there is so many stuff you can learn how to mentor people, but if you are not a natural connector, natural teacher, or has the passion for that, you won't be successful. So beginning of my career, I started, even I was probably 20 years old, I started tutoring other students at the college or university who had some language barriers and all these stuff. And then it started that I had to, I mean, if I tell you what I have done in my life, how many career I have, I mean, you cannot believe it. I started nuclear chemistry. From nuclear chemistry, I went to the visual communication. So anyways, so even at that time, this educational part was a big big part of me. And because every time you know that when you teach someone, you learn back too.
Hmm.
So that was a very, it's my passion. I just live for that. And I hope that people got something from me when I'm saying I'm mentoring. But yeah, it's a huge part of my life, to be honest.
Now, Morgan, what I know about you personally is that as great of a mentor and teacher, instructor, sharer of information that you are a better student, right? And so you always have your eyes and your ears open, always looking to gain some new knowledge, new information. Where does that come from?
So probably it comes from how my dad raised me. That's the most important thing. So from day one, I mean, I told you he was a police officer. So it's not like, oh, a guy with so much money or whatsoever. So no, he had a he provided us a very good life. But the most important thing from day one, as I got 6 years old or before that in kindergarten, he tried to put all his, not all his money, otherwise we could not eat, but most of his assets or whatsoever in another asset, which was our education, my sister and I. So that is something which even I wanted to give it back to my sons and everything. It's just, I learned it, we say, from my, uh, how do you say in English? In
Now,
Pampers,
now,
Pampers
now,
from,
hold on,
yeah.
Morgan. You know how I am about language. If you know it in German, say it in German and force us to go look it up. So, first of all, so you say you learned it in Pampers, but go ahead in German. What would you say?
In mein Windel.
Okay,
Windel.
listen, I'm smarter now than I was 30 seconds ago, right? Because at least now, if I hear it, maybe I'll say, man, I got a friend who taught me that word, right?
Oh yeah.
Not that's good. So you learned it from an early age, and it's not just from him telling, but also him showing you what's important. You mentioned this word, asset. You said your dad took much of his assets and put it into you and your sister into additional assets. So let's talk about that for a moment. I know you and I, we might be considered weird. We might be considered weirdos because we look at learning and education and books and studies and seminars and conventions as investments, not as cost. So when you say that your dad invested his assets into additional assets, you and your sister, what does that mean to you now? Right? How cool is it for you to look back and be like, man, my dad could have spent money on other stuff, but he invested in me. What has that done to Morgan that I'm looking at and talking to today?
And I'm talking about that now, I'm getting emotional. Oh my God. It's because the thing is, after he invested so much in us, in our education, in our person, even as a person, just aside of the educational part, he gave us first, okay, he brought us to the world with my mom, but he didn't just leave us, he gave us more and more and more, and we got thicker and thicker, and as you say, bigger and bigger and bigger. So, and that is something that I'm telling you, with that asset, it doesn't matter where you put me in, I start to grow. That is something which is very important to me. So I don't need any money to have in my pocket. I don't have any bees because I know what I have here and here, I just move on because nobody
Come
can
on,
take it
man.
from me. And that is something that I have. He gave it to me. I didn't want to be an heir. I already got everything from him. You know what I'm saying? I
I
don't need
got
any
it.
money. But he gave me that. This is something very important. This is, that is.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier in our conversation being a cancer survivor, 20 years now being a cancer survivor, but you mentioned something in there, and you don't talk about the experience as a victim. You speak about the experience as a survivor, and that's a strong word, and someone who now looks back at it and when you were talking about finding out being diagnosed with cancer in your early 40s, and now you're coming back and saying, man, that's when I reevaluated what was important. That's when I really got this thing. Could you share with the audience, maybe the viewers or the listeners, and not everyone has cancer, but I'm sure everyone has challenges. So it's a different C word. Everyone has a challenge. Where did you find that strength or that drive or perseverance to say, this thing isn't going to beat me? This is not going to be the end of my story. Would you be willing to share that with us?
Absolutely, yes. So I'm not sure about the time because if I want to talk about it, it takes days, months, or whatsoever. But very short of that, when you get cancer, that's a very scary moment.
Hmm.
Okay, it's very scary. Especially at that time, my youngest was only 2 years old, and I was in the fourth age of the cancer, so I should be gone today.
Hmm.
But somehow at that time, I was in Germany and I had real great doctors and stuff. So, but I had the support from my husband. And to be honest with you, that's why when you have to have the right
Hold on,
people
wait,
around.
wait, wait. Stop right there. So I see photos of you and your husband, and both of you have the biggest smiles on your faces, and you're about to talk about the right people around you. So you met my wife, my wife is my everything. How important is it, maybe not just husband or wife, but how important is it to have that person, those people, that tribe around you that when you have no idea what to do, they're like, we got this. Like, yeah, I don't know how we're going to do it, but we got this. So go ahead. I just get excited because I
Yeah, yeah.
know the love that you have for your husband and the love that he has for you, to hold it together, right? To say,
Mhm.
babe, it's okay. So go ahead, Morgan. I just get excited when I hear someone talk about
Oh,
their significant other, their support system. Because here's what I know. Many times I don't think they understand how
mhm.
important they are to what we do, right? Because we're here, and I know your husband, he's like, okay, babe, yeah, good job, go ahead. And you're like, no, thank you. And he's like, yeah, okay. Like, no,
Mhm.
you don't understand. Thank you. You're the reason why this happened. So continue, please.
No, no, you are absolutely right, Neil. I mean, you mentioned every point already in a good way. So actually, so my husband, was the one. I don't forget it, that the day as they told me we tried to remove the tumor, but it was a real metastase everywhere. So we cannot do these and do that. And then he's, as you just said, babe, we get it. He sat under, on my bed at the hospital and said, Mojgan, we go through that. I'm sure. And then he has such a very bright eyes, and I looked into his eyes and I saw, it's like I'm diving into the ocean. And it was like, I cannot tell you how I felt at that time, but I knew everything is already managed by God.
Wow.
I knew that.
Wow.
I cannot tell you. It was a moment, I cannot describe it, but at the end of the day was I got already healed, even though I had to do all these chemo therapy, radiation, all these, I lost my hairs, everything which is associated to such a bad illness or disease or whatsoever. But to your other question, at the end of the day, this was a start of a better life for me, because at that time I used to smoke. I quit smoking. Okay, so that was the first thing. I quit smoking. I started to do think more about myself. I started to make every day an appointment with myself.
Wow.
And it's still the same every day. And I wake up, and my calendar, my first appointment is appointment with myself. And that was that as I got from my cancer. And it was, at the beginning of our conversation, I told you, first try to know yourself, and it's really the point. At this moment, when I wake up, I'm not a sport. I do not do any sport. But I'm not a person who's doing that. It's a very bad fail of me. But a part of that, I'm trying to get with my emotions. I try to get my brain together. What should I do? And that was a really good turning point. Maybe if I didn't get that, I still smoke. I didn't do that. So I just got rid of many bad habits. So that
Wow.
was a survival. Yeah.
Morgan, do you understand what you just said, right? Your disposition, your personality. So we share this disease. It's called toxic positivity. You and I, right? And so people are listening and they're like, does she really believe that? And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you that Morgan really does believe that. She lives it out. And so maybe if that doesn't happen, maybe you're not here today, but for a different reason, right? And the lives that you've impacted haven't been impacted positively as you have, or as they have. Now, here's where I want to go. You've done some pretty cool things in your life. You've done a lot of things. You're like the German Forrest Gump, right? You've lived so many lives and done all these things and had different careers, nuclear science and instructing, teaching, language. I want to know, right? Because when our paths crossed, you had already done some great things. Is that fair to say? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Okay. But with everything you had done, you still did not feel as if you were playing up to your standard. And I think this is where you go back to knowing yourself. And so there was a time, for a very brief moment, where you would think, well, I'm not sure if I can. As much as I've done, I'm a survivor. I've come to the United States with my family, right? I've overcome, I've moved from the Middle East to Germany, but still there was this hesitance, right? There was this reluctance. There was maybe just a little bit of doubt there. How did you overcome that piece?
Should I tell you something? I mean, the first thing you said about crossing our path together. Okay, let me a little bit. I'm hopefully we have more time after that to talk about it, but I want to just touch that for a very short moment. As
Okay.
my path after having all these career, these and then more happening in my life, whatever, this was a moment as my path really knew. It's not that you're sitting in front of me now. I'm telling about crossing my path to you back in June. I knew that you before, so I know you
Mhm.
for many years. But the day as I could really sit in your sessions and having these direct moments of exchange and stuff, it gave me like, oh my God, I'm turning to it once again in a different person. That's to that. And I'm hoping we can touch that more together, hopefully. But about the doubt or whatsoever, I'm not sure if I'm too optimistic or if I don't know, but I don't have any doubt. I don't know why is it like that. I'm very cautious. I'm very not suspicious, but I don't have any doubt. It's just for
Okay.
me, like, because as we said at the beginning, I knew what I'm doing. Okay, as we came here, that was a word for me. I didn't know about it. Nothing, nothing. But even I had to change my wedding ring from the left hand, from the right hand to the left hand. So there was so stuff nobody can believe it. Okay, so many changes. But at the end of the day, For example, even for the wedding ring, I said, oh, doubt, oh, what the people would think, or I'm because in Germany it has another meaning. They're okay, you are divorced or widow or whatsoever, and you do it this way. And I said, don't doubt about it. It is the moment, it is the situation you have to live in. And there shouldn't have any doubt about it. You just
Right.
work it out. That's it. Well,
Okay, so Morgan, yes, we can go into some of our interaction and some of our conversation, but here's where there's something. You've been great, you've been good, you've been successful. I looked at you and I was like, man, this woman has led Florida Realtors Global Business Committee, and that's a big deal, right? You've done things at an international level that is to be commended. And I'm sitting in class and I'm looking at you and I said, Morgan, that's a great job. Like, I'm proud of you. Go bigger. And you're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, it's cool. Like, if you were a small person, if you weren't capable of more, you could say, okay, God, take me now. I've done my job. But you're still here. Go bigger. Go bigger. And what I have seen in only a matter of months is how big you are going. And it's and here's the best thing when I say that why you're a great student is because yes, your eyes and your eyes are open, your ears are open, but you're also doing something with everything that you learn, with what you absorb. So much so that now you're looking for opportunities to go bigger, to be bigger, and they're coming to fruition. So now you can go into what that moment meant and what has happened afterwards, if you would.
so after our encounter, you mean? So after our, so,
Yep.
okay, so yeah, I'm a volunteer person. I'm charting, and I remember as you asked, oh, who else is in the class is doing these and that, and I was like, oh, and you told me, oh yeah, I know you, and I'm like, yes, and I was so still, I didn't really want,
Shrinking
yeah,
down, being
exactly,
small.
yeah, but and then you told me, no, you have to present yourself. You have to be yourself. Da, da, da. And this was a very good moment for me because I normally it comes from probably my Middle East culture. I'm
Hmm.
not the loud person like, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And look at me, look at me. I'm not like that. So normally when I have a successful moment, it's not just about me. That's how I see it. There are so many other factors, even people or team or whatsoever who are behind that. That's why I do not try to be the one. Oh, hey, look at me, I'm the one. That's probably is that, but sometimes we need to. I know we need to. So, but then after all these, I started even to being more involved in the volunteer positions, even because it helps even my business. I learn a lot when I'm doing volunteering. So I was in global of the local and also state, but now I thought, oh, it's not just about this, get more, try to get more involved. So now at the state level, I even, thank God and thank the state, I could get even appointed for 4 other committees at state level, which it makes me so proud. And it just, or at the Women Council that I'm in. So I'm just trying to get more involved in order not only for them but also for myself because I'm getting all the information from firsthand. That is the
Yeah.
point that everyone needs to know. You know, please involve yourself.
Get involved somewhere, do something. So I want to know when, because you just shared something in our private Facebook group, right? That you have things happening, and they might seem small in the moment, right? You could be frustrated, you could
Mhm.
become tired, and because you're like, man, I'm standing in line tired, but then you chose to take a step. You chose to go bigger. You chose to be the lead, to lead with generosity, to lead as a servant, and then connection. And I know you are a big connector. What has connection meant not only in your life, but also in your business and just in the whole 360 world of Morgan Styner?
So, I mean, you know that. So for the people who are outside Florida and I mean, listening to your podcast. So in Florida, when we say, I mean, just I'm talking right now just because of our profession as a broker. So here in Florida, we are calling ourselves transaction broker. So it means we are already a connector at some point. So we learn it, how to connect to the people, how to get the deal done. And that is, for me, I learned from you actually talking about them being a magnet to being someone who really can position herself as a connector. I'm doing what I learned from you actually a lot. So no, that's the reality. So okay, maybe I knew that, but I got reminded. Okay,
Hmm.
Morgan, work on it to get bigger. So as a connector is for me like sometimes, okay, it's my profession. I know how to work in something, how to connect people, how be a matchmaker, how get everything's done. Hopefully, okay, we are not every time alone. There are so many other factors which are involved, but we try our best, okay? And
Hmm.
that's why we talk about being a connector. But at the end of the day, every day we say in real estate, we talk about real estate is not is a important um, um, important element of our daily life. So it's not a part of it, has so much to do with emotion, with these and that. So we are already in a position to be a connector. So
Hmm.
we put into these duty, into these tasks, and then we just try to, uh, as you said, getting more bigger, having more skills to it, to just really connect more. Not only, I mean, in real estate, even in my private life, I'm someone who doesn't want to be put aside, or I'm going to work on that to putting the people aside. I just want that everyone is together. And if I can be a part of it to connect people together, I love that. And also, that's why we do the volunteering to just do these moments, to these connections.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do because we have not even touched on the real estate side of things. We haven't gone as deep as I want to go. But your brand is really all about charity, giving, service, and not charity for the sake of, oh, I'm going to do this so that then I know I'm going to get something back. But that's who you, where your heart is and who you are. Would you talk about how is it when you said that know yourself and find your passions and then look to serve? Because you're in the real estate sales business industry, but you are not a salesperson. You are someone who comes through and identifies people's needs and you serve them. And as a byproduct of great service, they were like, oh, well, here's some money, right? So, would you talk about the importance of that service, that servant mentality to the success of everything that you're doing professionally?
So to be honest with you, with that question, every time when if someone asking me about this, probably not in this form, but in other form, why you are serving people, why it's your passion to serving people. I remember the day as I got my license the first time, and then we had the ceremony to standing at our association and swear that I'm serving the public. And I didn't just get it as a like, okay, it's just I'm standing there for 30 seconds and I say, oh, I'm the public servant. I got it with my full, at that time I was really the magnet. I got it. I got it in my soul. Okay. And I said, okay, at that time we are talking about almost 13 years ago. So even my language was different than today. So because every year it just gets a progress, hopefully. Not my accent, no.
Not the accent, but the understanding and the use of the language. So
Exactly.
hold on, Morgan. I want to say you're talking about 13 years ago and the language. Listen, I've been practicing this thing called English for 43 years and I still haven't gotten it, right? And so this is why and so I tell everyone this. I'm like, English is my second language. The problem is I don't have a first language. And they're like, we can tell, like, dude, it's odd for you to have a podcast and you not be able to master the English language. But go ahead,
Oh,
Morgan. I apologize.
no, no, don't say that. And I'm telling it due to your podcast. So, because I'm your follower and I love, and every day, this is another task of me. I go and see your Instagram, whatever post you have, talking about your language, and it makes my day, Neil. So, first off, I can learn something different with another accent. So for me, I cannot really recognize who comes from where. So for us, it's not like that. I can tell you in Germany who is coming from where, but for me, it's just I know only Southern accent here, but nothing else. But as I started to know you, then I thought, oh, there's another accent too, and I love that. So no, I love it. So it's so we say in German some accents. Uh, I'm a language instructor too. So
Of course you are. Why?
yeah.
I mean, like I told you all, the German Forrest Gump. What hasn't she done? And
So
and hold on. And so that's why I'm telling you now. You're coming back for another episode. I'm not asking. We're going to do a part two to this. But go ahead.
okay, thank you. So anyways, as a language instructor, we say some languages or some accents or dialects they do have special music. Okay, and your accent has a very special music, at least for me, and I love it. I'm not saying you want to hear it. Okay, that is the point. Some people it's just like a singer. Okay, some people they know all the notes, they know all the ups and downs, but you cannot listen to them because it doesn't sound good, even though they know all these edges, but they don't sound. But some people they don't probably know, but it sounds good how they talk, how they sing, and that's with you. So I'm not going into so much.
Morgan, I am going to chop that part out of this podcast and I'm going to put that as my ringtone. I'm going to put that as my alert because everyone needs to be encouraged, right? So that's just going to be my encouragement on repeat. Thank you for that. So here's what I would like to do with your permission. We've learned a lot about you as the woman, as the thinker, the educator, leader, mentor. I am going to ask that we get the broker back on at another time for this, but I think this is perfect for the 60th birthday celebration. And so I want to tell you thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, I am going to say that in the show notes, in the description, you're going to have Morgan's contact info, especially if you're looking for real estate over in the Cape Coral area. I do want to give you a chance to tell people what you do because we didn't even get there. Because some people are going to fall in love with you as the survivor, as the just the boss, the bad woman that you are, the wife, the mom. Would you tell people what you do, what areas you serve, what your specialties are, and then they'll learn more about it in our follow-up episode?
So thank you for that. The last question, which gives us more things, but yes, as you know, we are in Southwest Florida, and I do have a lot of designations and certifications, which gives me more skills to serve my clients and everyone who needs my service. So, but my the specialty that I do have really, I can tell you it's with the international real estate because I do have all these connections. We talked about the connector. I do have a good connection to the European market, so especially to the commercial side of it. So, which I'm not doing commercial here in Southwest Florida and mostly emphasized on the residential part. But in Europe, I do have the commercial part of it. So
Now,
I
hold on, wait, right there. And that's something we did not get into. So you say in Europe you have the commercial side. Ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you that she is a global real estate specialist, just pause right there, Morgan. When you say in Europe, tell us. Don't just drop that there and walk off like it's nothing. Go ahead and tell us about this European side of your business.
So it's actually comes from more because of my husband and his business in Germany for many, many years, 40 years. We are old people. So when we talk about many years, it's just like, no, we are not talking about 10 or 20 years. You go beyond of the 40 years. So anyways, with that support and with that knowledge, and especially in Germany, that I was in several countries as someone who was in business international affairs. So I could get all these sources. And because of my husband and his connections, I could get more into you talk about elite customers, the elite clients or customers, and that is mostly about him. But because you say every time you have to position yourself, you have to have this, and then if you have the connections, which thank God I do have it, and then in Europe is just like, okay, so it's my home. And if people can have, it doesn't matter where you go, because the global is about inbound and outbound, so it's not like, thank God it just cross over every. But the good thing is that when you are an international specialist, your referral network gets really big and bigger. And then it's not just about the positioning of Southwest Florida or these and that. So I'm the one, not only me, but most of the international real estate specialists, they do have not only the knowledge, we do have also these great spectrum of the referral network. So that's why we are sitting probably here in Southwest Florida, but right away we do have the connection either in Europe or Africa or whatsoever. And then the thing is, I try to really tell everyone, get because of the nature of our region, if we get to the international real estate, it helps us even domestically a lot,
Mhm.
because it's a different era of the real estate. Is just beyond everything. But for myself, the European market is just my niche, is something which I can work with, more comfortable with that. But still, we all have the network that we can work everywhere in the world. So that is the point. Yeah.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, go to the show notes, go to the description. You're going to see the brokerage site. You're going to see Morgan's contact info, her social media. Make sure you connect with her. She is one of the phenomenal individuals, phenomenal people. She's a survivor, wife, mom, mentor, instructor, student, and all around great person. But Morgan, I did not tell you this part. We are going to have some fun. I'm going to shoot some. See, look, there we go. I know you're ready for a good time. On your 60th birthday, what we are going to do, we're just going to do some quick rapid fire questions. Are you open to that, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here we go. What is your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue,
Why?
because it's the color of eyes of my husband.
Ooh, come on, hubby. He said, "Hey, so like you said, man, when he had those big eyes and you dove into like you diving into the ocean, that's a great question. Does he know that?"
Yes.
Okay. What is your favorite food?
My favorite food is a Persian food, which is, I'm not sure if you are familiar with that or not, but it's cello kebab.
Okay.
Is like a meat, beef meat, but very, very thin, with rice, saffron, and everything what belongs to.
Okay, I love it. So, besides yourself, who is your favorite superhero?
My dad.
Why?
I already told you why, but the most important thing is he is, I believe, and I go back to all your questions because I believe he was the one from the first beginning, as he was for me the connector from my life to God to everything beautiful in the world. He's the hero. Yeah.
That is so amazing. And here's what I always tell everyone. So my hero was my dad as well. And I tell everyone that not all heroes wear capes, right? And I think that is important for us to acknowledge, recognize, so that we can be our own heroes as well, especially for those who might be looking at us the same way we looked at our dads. What is one talent? And I know you're a talented woman. What is one talent that you do not have that you wish you did?
Flying. I don't know.
Oh,
Yes,
oh, so, so,
you're
so,
flying.
so, Morgan's gonna say, man, I want a superpower. I want to be able to fly. Now, if you could fly, would you really fly for real?
As a pilot,
No. Oh, so hold
oh,
on. So, are you talking about flying like a pilot or flying like
yes.
Superman?
No, no, flying as a
Oh,
pilot.
so you can learn to fly, Morgan. You've done everything else that you put your mind to.
I do have a height phobia. Unfortunately, I can't.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so there's a little bit of a problem there. She was like, I wish I could fly I wish I could fly a plane. So why don't you just take your license? No, I'm afraid of heights. And I'm like, okay, so now I understand. So it might be even more challenging if you were. Could you imagine if Superman had a phobia of heights? That would be a problem as well. Wait, but you could just fly just barely above the trees and the buildings. Is that still too high for you, ma'am?
Oh, yes, even on a ladder.
Okay, so now we have learned Wonder Woman, Superwoman's kryptonite. It is heights. So if we take her up just above the ladder's height, all of a sudden
Yes.
everything that she's learned, the Superwoman that we have, goes out the window. What is one thing that 60-year-old Morgan would tell 20-year-old Morgan today?
Never, ever have any doubt about yourself. So every stage of the life has a lesson for you, and do not rush into anything. Anything. The rush is the devil. Never do it.
Okay, so when did you learn that lesson? So where were you someone? Because I know that I was someone who would always want to rush and get to the next stage of life, no matter where I
Mhm.
was. Let's hurry up. So what was that 20-year-old Morgan as well? What was she always rushing and wanting and looking forward to?
I was a rush person. I was so impatient. And I mean, at some point it was good, but end of the day, I exhausted myself sometimes too much. I overwhelmed myself too much. And I do, and today when I'm looking back, I'm telling myself, don't put yourself in stress. Don't do it. Because if you are do everything patiently, think about it, everything just follows right away. You don't need to chase stuff. Learn about stuff, take care of the stuff, but take care of yourself too. Don't get overwhelmed. And I did it. That's what I told you. I had several, because listen, Neil, I'm 60 years old, which lived only almost 100 years.
Mm.
So means I had different careers. Some people say, oh my God, when they see my resume or CV, oh my God, what is that? Is that only one person? I said, and then I did all good. I did all of them good. It was not, and there was no point in it. However, when I look back, I see, hey, I need to do that. It
Mm.
wasn't, you have only one life, and live your one life the way that you do not put yourself, also the people around you, in stress. Sometimes I did. My parents, I put them in stress a lot.
Man, so I know you're talking to 20-year-old you, but you're also talking to Neil today, right? And so thank you for sharing that because that's something I needed to hear. And I know that when my wife hears this, you might get a thank you note from her. We're like, yeah, I keep telling him to slow down, be patient, quit trying to force it, just let it flow and follow. So thank you for that. That means the world. Now, Morgan, not that you watch a lot of TV or movies, but if you're sitting in front of the TV and you're flipping through the channels, what movie makes you stop and watch it no matter how many times you've seen it?
Are you going to hate me?
No, I am not there. So this is a judgment-free zone, ma'am. Go ahead and give it to me. What is it?
Horror movies. I love horror movies.
So now hold on. Now it's right around scary time. So you're one of those who likes to be scared. You are just as see, I knew I loved you. My wife is the exact same way. And I'm sitting there, Morgan, when she puts the scary movies on and the horror movies, so she likes all of the Conjuring stuff. She like anything that you just should not watch as a grown, sane person. She's like, oh yeah, let's be scared. And I'm like, be scared on purpose? So a horror movie playing, Morgan, you're stopping and watching it. Do you jump when you watch the movies and everything?
Actually, not. The only scenes that I cannot have it is when it gets too bloody stuff. I put my eyes like that and I ask my husband, is it done?
Now, does your husband like watching these movies?
No, the
See,
poor
come on.
guy.
The- he doesn't get any. First of all, he is the love of your life, and he is expected to sit there and watch the part that you can't watch. Morgan. And I thought it was bad that you wish you could be a pilot, but you're afraid of heights. Now you are making the love of your life sit here and endure this stuff. That's wild, ma'am. So you and my wife must be sisters. I'm telling you,
Oh,
you all must be sisters. Okay,
uh,
so I know you are a reader, and it doesn't matter which language, what culture, what is your favorite book?
I don't read any book in the traditional way or
Hmm.
old-fashioned way. As I was much younger, before all these internet and ebooks and all these stuff, I was very passionate about romance and Russian romance and stuff like that. So I love it because I can imagine. I go into inside it and I feel myself. I am in there. So I'm a dreamer. I'm still a dreamer.
Of
So I
course.
dream so much. But nowadays, I'm just reading the books. Now I'm every time when I'm looking at you, I see your books behind you. And it brings me reminded to me, hey Morgan, read again because I'm a searcher. I'm a surfer now. I'm surfing a lot. I try I my reading it got more selective.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get what I need,
Right.
which is not good. But I see now you're a film Negros, and I know about it, and it's probably that would be after a long time my first book.
Hey, and I was just telling someone, it's and not as just the author, but I was going back through making notes, doing and preparing for some stuff. So what I've learned and what I put into the book, like it's a great book, right? And I'm not
Yeah,
just saying that because I wrote it, but
I know.
it's a great book. Okay, so Morgan, here's what we're going to do. I have one final question for you.
Yes, sir.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
When I grow up and I get more older, I want I want to be still myself. What should I tell you? I
Still
will.
yourself. I love it. Hey, you know what? I think that might be the best answer I've ever had. Like, I want to be what's better than being yourself? And also, what's harder than being yourself today? Right? Because we have so many external inputs, right? That are trying to Morgan Neal, be somebody different, be that person, be her, be him, be less of yourself. And so here's what I will say: that if you grow up to still be yourself, I will be blessed to be in your circle. I do want to ask, so I sort of lied when I said that was my last question. Is there anything that you want to share with the audience in closing?
So at the end, I just want to thank you for your time, Neil. I know how busy you are, and I know your passion to helping us, people around you. And I would never ever forget this day in my life. Okay, that was the most precious gift that I could get from someone. And I'm telling you, looking into your eyes and then having the feeling I'm getting heard, this is very important. But my advice for your people who are listening to this is never ever quit learning. Never ever quit believing in yourself, because everything else just follow thereafter. That is the thing.
Man, I tell you what, I know it's your birthday, but it has been a gift to me. I feel like I'm the one that got all the presents today. So thank you, Morgan, for spending your time with me. And I don't take that lightly. And so, ladies and gentlemen, once again, there will be another one of these. You don't have to worry, because as you could tell, she has not even scratched the surface on really going into the business side that has made her the international global powerhouse that she is. And so we're going to get that part. But I wanted people to know about Morgan Steiner, the woman, the leader, the heart, before we knew about the business woman. And that's what we did accomplish today. So make sure that you go into the show notes in the description, follow, connect with Morgan, see what she's doing. You will be glad that you did. She is one of my friends, a very close friend of mine, someone that I admire greatly. So I'm going to leave you as I always do, and that is that I love you, God loves you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And until the next time I see you or you see me, don't be average, be world renowned. Peace.